Hey guys, so getting into some martial arts defensive tactics stuff. One, because I've come across some of my old gear and I replaced some gear that needed to get replaced. But uh, what do people need? What do I recommend if they want to get into martial arts? I don't care what martial art you want to get into. This is not, as much as I have my ups and downs with, say, MMA or the UFC type stuff. What that brought to the world, what that brought in the 90s, what that brought to every martial artist pretty much in modern times. The idea that there's no one martial art that is better than the other one. Some are better at certain things over others. However, when it comes to an actual combat, street fight, whatever, you need to be good at certain things. You need to have some wrestling, some striking, endurance, strength, technique. The karate black belt versus the taekwondo black belt. It depends. I guess my point to that is you need to be well versed in several things if you're going into competition these days, unless you are strictly a boxer and you're going into a boxing match. But my background, I've done martial arts religiously. I did it for about 10 years. I've been out of it, doing it day in, day out for 7 years probably now. I started when I was 13, 14. I think when I was 13. Started in boxing for a little bit, kind of just understanding punches. And then karate, did karate for about 4 years. And then my studio transitioned from Kempo, American Kempo, to Muay Thai and Krav Maga. They also had a Jiu-Jitsu section as well. I'm not very good at Jiu-Jitsu. I know the basics. That's something I want to get better at. But that's my experience. And then as security guard, various DT and combatives classes and stuff like that. In that 10 years, I achieved a high red belt in karate. Tested for my black belt, but at the time, part of the requirement was a 2-mile run in 16 minutes. We were doing it in winter time. It was about February and freezing cold, and I missed it by about a minute. So, did not achieve my black belt based off of that, but technique and time in and other requirements that were part of the test I passed. It was just the run that fucking killed me. And then Muay Thai, Krav Maga, I'd have to look at my certificate again, but I think I got level 4 or level 6. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anywho, when you're going into it, I'd recommend folks get 2 different types of gloves. One being a full-size boxing glove, so these are 14-ounce gloves. These are my original gloves from karate, and they're well worn and used, and eventually I'll buy new ones, but I don't know if you can kind of here and there, some of the padding's falling apart, but they're 14 ounce. So these were used basically for everything, from hitting the bag to training, focus mitts, heavy bags, and to sparring. We sparred with these. And one of the competitions, I still have tape on it from one of them. My caveat to that is a lighter set of MMA type gloves. So a 4-ounce glove, which I can show you in a minute. But these should be folks' training gloves. They're heavier. They're going to allow you, as you're training with the heavier set of gloves, to build up your endurance and your stamina for your arms and your wrists. And when your body gets used to these, it makes transfer into a street fight type thing where you don't have gloves and you're bare knuckled, or to these 4-ounce MMA gloves. When your body's used to those 14s or 16s, going down to the 4s or to bare knuckle, you're going to be faster, have more endurance, hit harder. It's just, you're defeating the purpose if you're training with these and then you switch to the heavier gloves, you're going to fatigue a lot easier. So doing that heavier to lighter makes more sense, right? But these are an MMA style glove where you kind of have dexterity in your fingers. You can open your hand for grappling, for palm strikes. The whole point of gloves, contrary to many people's belief that it's padding for your opponent, it is not. I can knock someone out. Boxers do it all the time. You can get knocked out by someone wearing boxing gloves versus lighter gloves or bare knuckle. These have less padding. The padding is to protect your hands so you don't break them. That's why boxers can hit so hard, because they have a fucking pillow on their fist. But these still offer good protection. But the dexterity is the big part. So, 2 sets of gloves if you're getting serious with this kind of stuff. One for training, one for competition or sparring. Now, some other stuff that you might want. Go out and get a heavy bag. So whether it's your basement, garage, spend the $50 to $100 on a good heavy bag. I recommend personally, if you can fit it and get away with it, get a Muay Thai bag, which is the tall 6 foot, 100 to 150 pound bags. Reason for that is it allows you to work your kicking. Everything from your high roundhouse kick type stuff to your low calf and leg kicks. Another option, if you don't have the room for those, is they're usually 50 to 80 pound uppercut style bag. So you have kind of a bulbous top that kind of narrows out at the bottom. Hopefully I'm describing that. So you obtain it, eye level to where the top of the bag is about your head height or so. The larger portion would be the top frame of your opponent, and then it narrows out a little bit to the bottom to where you can work your uppercuts, but you can still work knees. It's still a good height. You can kind of work a low kick. It's a good option. And then you have your normal boxing heavy bag, which is about 50 to 80 pounds. Just go out and get something you can hit. They make the ones with the chains. They make the ones with the bases. You put sand into them. It's up to you. Focus mitts. I love focus mitts. I love doing drills on them. I love being the teacher person holding them because this allows me to work with a student or with a partner and actually throw a jab, throw a cross, throw an uppercut. I can throw strikes and help that person understand slipping, parry, okay, kicking. If they want to throw a knee, I just do this. They throw a knee. They want to kick, I do this. They throw a kick. They want to do a leg kick, I do this. They can target that to the leg. Very versatile, very good trainers. So, and then you have like a rib guard, shin guards. Shin guards I do recommend, especially when you're starting out, because after 10 plus years of doing this, my shins are pretty well conditioned. I mean, if you took a baseball bat to my shin, that would hurt, but I can kick a heavy bag, I can kick a person, and be pretty fine. If you're new and you don't have any conditioning to your shins, and you kick something, it's going to hurt. If you're training with a partner and neither of you have pads on, and you're going back and forth and you connect with each other, bone to bone hurts. Depending on the person, that could actually break your bones. If you haven't conditioned your shins properly. Now, I'm not saying to go out there like the Thai guys or the Krav Maga guys and fucking wail on a tree, because they will do that. But get some pads, start kicking things, and then on a bag, start light, and start kicking the bag without your pads on. If you, I'm not saying to do this, but if you did, you have a heavy bag and you whack, kick it without pads on, and you've never done that before, and you're full throttle in it, it's gonna hurt. We've all been there. So work up to it. I can do that now. I don't have a heavy bag here to show you, but if I went up to a heavy bag and I kicked it, I'd be fine. Starting out though, work your way up to that. I'll just show you shin pads real quick, because I have them. And a rib guard. So this is for sparring, partner versus partner. When you want to kind of amp it up a little bit, but you don't want to kill each other. These are great. Protects your lower ribs, your stomach, your solar plexus, your liver, your spleen, stuff you don't really want to get beat up too bad. They're good. Shin pads. These protect your dip it on here. And I'll just throw one of them on. If you're doing any sort of kicking art, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, hopefully you can see in here. So they protect the top of your foot up to your knee. They still allow a good amount of flexibility. Because what you don't want is to throw a kick and break your toes. Now on the street, you're wearing shoes. You can hit with your toes, and that's not going to be too much of an issue. But barefoot, your toes will break. That's why in Muay Thai, not so sure about Taekwondo because I've never practiced that, but Muay Thai especially, in American kickboxing, you hit with your shin. It's a bigger bone, it's more dense, it's more durable. It can inflict more damage, but it can also take more damage. Versus in traditional karate, a lot of our kits, or a lot of those kits, tended to be with the top of the foot. The front kick is usually pretty universal. It's with the ball of the foot throughout the arts. And the side kick coming up is usually with the blade of the foot, or the ridge of the foot on the outside. That's it. This isn't a technique video, but I'm trying to explain as much as we want to train and get into this kind of stuff, you need to protect yourself as the practitioner. There's no use in going balls to the wall with it and injuring yourself more than you ever have to. So invest in a good pair of shin guards, a set of boxing gloves, 14 to 16 ounces, set of MMA type gloves, 4 to 5 ounces, and a set of focus pads if you're working with a partner.